the activities by some non-governmental organizations in crisis zones in the country of late, or have of late raised much dust because of the failure to respect the law and attempts to paint the forces of law and order black. In this focus, or the focus of Cameroon Tribune this morning, the Cameroon Tribune looks at the need for the required neutrality in the actions of NGOs on the field, especially in the conflict-hit regions of Cameroon. Thank you for watching, televiewers of My Media Prime. We are back in the studio to continue with our discussions this morning. And we are joined by Yembe Emellie, like I earlier mentioned. She is an active member of the PCRN political party of Honorable Cabral Libi. We are also joined by Maitre Alex Ndive on the line to the UK. Maitre Alex, I begin with you. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Lasha. Good morning, Gwladys. Good morning to your team. Good morning to Madame Yembe Emellie. It's a pleasure to meet you on this platform because I follow the brief a lot. And sometimes I heard you were talking about that you two, you're comparing yourself with the Anglophone problem, that you two, you're being marginalized. And what I was concerned is that you don't seem to understand that the Anglophone problem is that they are forcing things that the French part inherited from France to the Anglophone, like now, which was created by Dictator General Charles de Gaulle in 1949. They are forcing things like École Normale Supérieure that was created in France in 1794, and they are forcing it on Anglophone. You inherited it. They are forcing military tribunal that was created in France in 1793, and they are forcing it on Anglophone trying civilian, which was a political court. They are forcing things like gendarme, which is a paramilitary French officer. They are forcing it on Anglophone. They are forcing things like prefer unelected governor Dio. That's the Anglophone problem. But you seem to consider or compare the Anglophone problem with difficulty to having jobs. We should distinguish these two things. It's very important. So once more, I'm happy to have this program, Madame Yembe Emellie.
Okay. Madame Yembe, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Lasha. Good morning, Gwladys.
Qui sont à 1597
pour qu'ils soient intégrés, oui. Ou alors que pour que les choses se porteraient mieux.
Madame Yembe, the problem is not even the monies that have been collected, but would this money be used to finance the projects or do what is supposed to be done by government?
Tout à fait, Monsieur Lasha. Tout à fait. Collecter de l'argent, c'est bien, c'est un problème, c'est déjà un pas. Maintenant, qu'est-ce qu'on fait de cet argent-là qui est collecté au niveau du contribuable camerounais? C'est la question qu'il faut se poser. Et nous exhortons, n'est-ce pas, les pouvoirs publics à utiliser l'argent qui est collecté chez les contribuables à bon escient. Nous le demandons vraiment. Généralement, c'est cet argent qui est collecté, qui, une fois reversé dans le trésor public, et on dispatche dans les différents ministères, c'est cet argent qui est détourné par certaines personnes.
Madame Yembe Emellie, est-ce qu'avec ce montant d'argent, 1597 milliards de francs CFA, on a encore besoin d'emprunter 200 milliards pour les projets de construction du Cameroun?
En principe, avec cet argent, on devrait faire beaucoup de choses. Vous avez un ministre qui a détourné dernièrement, je ne dirais pas son nom, je crois 200 et poussières de milliards. Il a même remboursé le corps du délit. Et 1200 et poussières de milliards, c'est quand même 200 salles de classe. 200 000 salles de, je crois 200 ou 200 000 salles de classe qu'on devrait construire si cet argent n'avait pas été détourné. Or, il a détourné cet argent. Les Camerounais continuent à avoir les problèmes d'eau. On n'a pas d'eau. On n'a pas d'eau potable. Et si les initiatives privées comme ces monsieur au cœur d'ange qui mettent les fourrages dans les quartiers, s'ils n'avaient pas existé, je ne sais pas ce que seraient devenus les Camerounais. Moi, particulièrement, chez moi, je n'ai plus d'eau de la Sinec depuis un bon bout. Et j'ai pris l'eau chez quelqu'un à côté, chez un voisin à côté qui fait dans le forage. Et c'est ce que beaucoup de Camerounais font actuellement. Donc, si l'argent qui est collecté est utilisé à bon escient, je pense qu'on ne devrait pas aller emprunter de l'argent dans les institutions internationales
pour développer une très haute instruction du chef de l'État la semaine dernière, instruisant le ministre des Finances à emprunter 200 milliards de francs CFA. avec cet argent et ces intérêts ou ces bénéfices de près de 300 milliards, est-ce qu'au jour d'aujourd'hui, le ministre des Finances a encore besoin d'aller emprunter ces 200 milliards de francs CFA?
Vous savez que quand on récolte cet argent,
oui,
il n'est généralement pas utilisé pour ce pourquoi il est récolté.
Okay.
On a eu tellement de détournements dans ce pays que peut-être il faut d'abord remplir ces trous de détournements avec les 300 milliards de plus qu'on a récoltés comme bénéfice. Peut-être il faut remplir les trous de détournements. Ils sont tellement nombreux les détournements que peut-être les 300 milliards là ne suffisent pas. Il faut encore aller emprunter de l'argent, 200 milliards au niveau des institutions internationales pour développer le Cameroun. Okay. Non, je n'explique pas le fait qu'on ait un bénéfice de 300 milliards et qu'on aille encore détourner, je veux dire, emprunter 200 milliards au niveau des institutions internationales. Sur très haute instruction du chef de l'État. Ça veut tout simplement dire que le trou des détournements, le gap des détournements.
And now accusing directly, alleged people who are committing the crimes, they also have their lawyer, and a judge will make a decision if they should send them to Cameroon. So just to sit there and make that, oh, they should stop putting pain or what? They are there in your country. I don't call those people who attack civilians, who rape women. They are not separatist fighters. They are criminals. So the American justice system and the government of Cameroon, they know what to do. When two elephants are fighting, the grass are suffering. I'll blame the American embassy or the ambassador, the American, I will blame their government, and I will blame the government of La République du Cameroon. They are responsible for the people suffering. In a country, I often say on your program, the job of a government is to do what? To maintain law and order, to enforce law, to bring national security. So somebody cannot be a criminal. You sit, you're complaining about a criminal. Where is the criminal justice system to bring people who are criminals? I will not stand against any person on earth who say, oh, I want to separate without using violence. It happened all over the world, in Scotland, in Ireland, in the Catalan, in the Flemish, in America, the Hawaii, the Californians. They say they want to separate, but they don't kill any person. So to me, separation is a political ideology. But when you use violence, you are a criminal and you should be booked, and the long hand of the law should follow you.
Is there enough instrument with the European countries as well as United States of America to have these people brought back to Cameroon? As Cameroon ratifies certain conventions or laws?
The duty of the government of La République du Cameroon, they should start the initial step. It is them who have to act. That look, there are these people we have identified A, B, C. These are their crimes. They send the evidence. Any government will look at it, and vice versa. The Cameroon government have done that. There was a lady in America, in the Cameroon. She committed a criminal offense in America and Russia and went to Bamenda. The FBI with the Cameroon government, they went there and they brought the lady who was extradited back to America. So why can they not do the same thing? And I want to make it clear, there is a difference between people who are just calling that, look, I'm not happy with this system, I want to go away without using violence, and people who use violence against civilians. I'm saying, if you're using violence, unlawful violence against civilians, that's terrorism for political aim. So we should separate criminals from people who have political opinion. We should make that very, very clear.
Maybe the American ambassador was referring to the people you are talking about, not the criminals.
No, I don't know what he's saying. When they say stop bringing pain, what pain? If I sit here and say I'm not happy with the system that they are imposing, translating Enam to Nasla, instead of allowing us to have a jury system, I'm not causing any pain. When people go around raping, kidnapping for ransom, burning school, that is pain. So I know the word, I can read in between the lines. He's talking about criminals. And there's also a criminal procedure system in the United States. There's a criminal procedure in the Cameroon. So these two people sometimes, when people are fighting each other, there's confusion, they are happy. They get the natural resources. So they have their interests. Each state, they know what they are doing. We have seen it's not only Cameroon, Central African Republic, other parts of Africa, they have been fighting indefinitely. When you fight indefinitely, we are still under colonization. They can control the country easily. When there's peace in the country, we'll start questioning the people who are running us. How are you using our tax money? So sometimes it's all a game. They are happy to see confusion. You can easily control people when there's confusion. And it's a new form of colonialism.
Okay, Maître. Yembe Emellie, let's go back to the General Assembly, FECAFOOT General Assembly, which took place in Douala. And this morning, the Guardian Post newspaper is telling us that FECAFOOT is copying CPDM's bad example, what they did in 2008.
Monsieur Lasha, la FECAFOOT ou alors Samuel Eto'o, je ne sais pas.
Yes.
On précise FECAFOOT ou Samuel Eto'o.
No, FECAFOOT, the General Assembly approved a proposal to extend the mandate of FECAFOOT's president from 4 to 7 years.
Bon, ben, ce que moi je vais dire par rapport à ça, c'est que je crois qu'il ne faut pas mettre les organes, hein, comme on dit au quartier. Il ne faut pas mettre les organes. Quand moi, je regarde le parcours de Samuel Eto'o, Samuel Eto'o est sur le terrain. Samuel Eto'o est dans tous les combats concernant la FECAFOOT. Samuel Eto'o est en train de réussir un certain nombre de choses que depuis 20 ans, les agrégés n'ont pas pu faire, les professeurs qui sont passés par là n'ont pas pu faire, les avocats n'ont pas pu faire. Je veux juste dire que M. Lasha, Samuel Eto'o, sur ce point de vue, n'est pas en train de copier le CPDM. Sur ce point de vue, parce que lui, on le voit, il est sur le terrain. Parce que moi, j'ai vu la comparaison, ce n'était pas Samuel Eto'o, ce n'était pas, comment je vais dire, c'était pas la FECAFOOT, mais on parlait particulièrement de Samuel Eto'o qui est en train de copier l'homme lion. C'est de ça qu'il s'agit. Donc, l'homme lion, c'est le président de la République. Donc, on ne peut pas faire une comparaison entre Samuel Eto'o et le président de la République qui est absent, qui ne parle jamais.
Non, il parlait
dont on n'a que les hautes instructions. Il parlait avant, aujourd'hui il ne parle pas. Il y a des enfants qui sont nés il n'y a pas très longtemps, qui ne connaissent pas le président de la République. Sinon, le 20 mai, quand il
voit quand même la photo,
à la télé,
avec...
le 11 février ou alors le 31 décembre, je veux dire que Samuel Eto'o est sur le terrain. On ne peut pas le comparer à l'homme lion. Maintenant, on parle du mandat qu'il est en train de vouloir mettre à 7 ans. Je crois qu'on parle des Olympiades qui sont de 4 ans, renouvelables, je crois, 2 fois. C'est ce que j'ai entendu. Bon, un mandat de 7 ans, est-ce qu'il n'est pas en train de mettre les Olympiades à 3 mandats? Je ne sais pas trop, je ne suis pas expert en football, je ne maîtrise pas très bien les textes de la FECAFOOT, de la CAF et la FIFA. Mais ce que je peux dire, c'est que attendons voir ce que ça va donner. Parce que
but the issue is that Eto'o was supposed to be there for 4 years.
Yes.
There was a proposal that his mandate be extended from 4 to 7. Is it not already a bad sign that Eto'o is a dictator, he's a power monger, he wants to remain at FECAFOOT for life?
Mais c'est l'Assemblée nationale qui propose que ce mandat soit tiré à 7 ans. Ce n'est pas Samuel Eto'o. Samuel Eto'o,
il y a des gens qui pensent que Samuel Eto'o
mais on a dit qu'il a donné l'argent.
Il a donné l'argent à qui? Il a donné l'argent à qui? Moi, je ne spécule plus, monsieur Lasha, sur certaines choses. Parce que quand vous spéculez sur certaines choses, vous vous rendez compte, quand la vérité est étalée, que vous aviez tout faux. Est-ce que ceux qui disent que Samuel Eto'o a donné l'argent à certaines personnes avaient des caméras pour filmer, qui nous sortent des vidéos? Aujourd'hui, c'est comme ça, même en justice, c'est les preuves. Vous allez avec des allégations, on vous demande des preuves. Le président de la République, Paul Biya, avait demandé les preuves il y a près de 30 ans. On a commencé à avoir les preuves et on a envoyé les gens en prison. Je veux tout simplement dire que les Camerounais revendiquent avec la dernière énergie le changement. Maintenant, quand il y a quelqu'un là qui est là pour changer, qui fait des choses qu'on voit, des choses palpables, qui, au niveau de la FECAFOOT, font bouger beaucoup de lignes. Ce sont les mêmes Camerounais. Ce sont les mêmes Camerounais qui se plaignent. Moi,
pourquoi est-ce qu'avant, les Camerounais n'avaient rien à cirer de la FECAFOOT et aujourd'hui, il y a beaucoup de regards sur cette institution?
C'est d'abord parce que c'est Samuel Eto'o qui est là. La star Samuel Eto'o, le footballeur de renommée internationale Samuel Eto'o, qui, lorsqu'il a déposé sa candidature, qui était d'ailleurs contestée, est venu avec un programme pour la FECAFOOT. Donc, je crois qu'ils ont lu le programme de Samuel Eto'o comparé aux autres programmes et ils se sont dit, on verra bien comment il va faire, parce que ça fait quand même 20 ans.
Ils n'étaient pas certains.
ça, peut-être, ça fait quand même 20 ans que la FECAFOOT est dans les problèmes. Bon, maintenant que Samuel Eto'o est là, parce que c'est Samuel Eto'o, je crois que si c'était quelqu'un d'autre, si c'était le président Bomotonguina qui était réélu, je ne pense pas que le regard serait le même. Mais parce que déjà c'est Samuel Eto'o, la star de football, qui est venu avec un peu de punch, n'est-ce pas, pour changer les choses. Est-ce que changer
la Constitution, on a maudit les Africains quand ça concerne...
C'est la Constitution, monsieur Lasha?
Oui, du FECAFOOT, le texte du FECAFOOT. Okay. Elle a changé.
Ok. Il a changé, c'est déjà changé. Donc, c'est bien passé à 7 ans.
Oui, on a dit oui. On a dit oui. L'Assemblée générale a dit oui.
Je pensais que c'était une révision, c'était une proposition.
Ce n'est pas lui qui propose, c'est l'Assemblée générale qui a proposé.
C'est ce que je suis en train de dire.
Qui a validé qu'ils doivent passer de 4 ans à 7 ans.
Mais on ne peut pas faire quelque chose sur mon nom et alors que je ne connais pas. Non? They cannot do something. They cannot decide something about myself that I don't know, that I'm not aware. They must have told me.
Monsieur Lasha, c'est l'Assemblée qui a décidé, non? Ils ont peut-être décidé par rapport au travail que Eto'o est en train de faire. Et peut-être ils se sont dit...
Pourquoi il n'a pas laissé 4 ans?
En 4 ans, peut-être ils se sont dit... Moi, je suis encore entre les guillemets. Peut-être ils se sont dit que en 4 ans, le travail qu'il y a à faire à la FECAFOOT, assainir la FECAFOOT, donner une bonne image au football camerounais à l'international, 4 ans ne pourront pas suffire. C'est vrai, en plus, ce pays-ci, là, hein, si vous voulez vraiment faire les comparaisons, ce pays-ci, pour qu'on sorte du gouffre dans lequel nous sommes actuellement, je ne pense pas que 7 ans suffiront à un opposant, n'est-ce pas, un leader d'un parti politique qui aura pris le pouvoir en 2025. 7 ans ne suffiront pas. Peut-être 14 ans ne suffiront pas. Il voudra demander peut-être le 3e mandat, comme ça s'est passé en Côte d'Ivoire.
Maître Alex, you listen to Madame Yembe Emellie, they talk about FECAFOOT. What do you have to say before I ask you the question I have to ask you?
What Madame Yembe is saying is speaking on conjecture. I will not share most of the things that she's saying. I will not accept with it because she just talked about Mr. Eto'o. Maybe 4 years is not enough. It's not about personality. We don't know tomorrow. We might not be living tomorrow. So when you talk about 4 years is not enough, you're telling Paul Biatu to change for 40 years. That's what you're implying. Mr. Eto'o, at the end of the day, Mr. Eto'o, I'm sure he has got a manifesto. He knows what he wants to do. He works with a team. And if he's not there tomorrow, somebody else should continue. When we do what we call this personality call, it's very, very wrong. It's not about Eto'o. It's about what is your program? What do you intend to achieve in football? Who are my team? Tomorrow, if I'm not there, who can continue doing what I'm doing? That's how we should look at life, or whether it's an institution. When we look at an institution on personality, you saw what happened in, is it Democratic Republic of Congo? Mobutu constructed his country because it's about Mobutu. And what happened? The country crumbled when he was no longer there. Look at all the countries on earth where people put themselves before the institution. It always crumbled. You see, Kagame, people are praising him today, and he's not allowing other people to come and join him to build the country. He's arresting opposition leaders, killing some of them. Then we are saying, oh, Kagame is developing Kigali. It's not about you as an individual. It's a team, because one day you will not be there. And what foundation have you laid? That's what is very important.
Mais Maître Alex, qu'est-ce qui prouve que Samuel Eto'o fils va rester à cette position pendant les 7 ans? Il peut aussi décider de déposer après 4 ans ou 3 ans.
My point, as I'm saying, as I'm talking on this program, I'll be happy for us to be talking about FECAFOOT, not about Eto'o. We should say FECAFOOT is doing A, B, C, D. Even it's about Eto'o. It's about the former FECAFOOT Benjoya. It's about personality. It's not about Eto'o. Eto'o is working with the FECAFOOT. Eto'o have got a budget. He's the head. He's the driver. He's the pilot. So let him lead the FECAFOOT. If he's fighting corruption, he is not the judiciary. If somebody has stolen money in FECAFOOT, you call the police to come in. That's why all institutions we are calling for checks and balances. Eto'o cannot be the judiciary. He cannot be the legislator. He cannot be the judge. If somebody has stolen money, call the police to come and investigate. That is how it works in a democratic country.
Yes, Maître Alex, let me take you to Kumba now. The church issue, this crisis is still persisting. Presbyterian Church Kumba Town crisis. We are told that Christians have been arrested for attempting to disrupt church service. And last Sunday or Sunday before last, a fresh consignment of fetish objects were found at the entrance to the same church. And also women went to the palace of the Bafo people. We are talking about the palace of Chief Mukete, and pleaded on him to get some of the Christians that were arrested to be released. What do you have to say to this kind of twist in the house of God?
You are the one calling it the house of God. It's a satanic house that people use it, they call it house of God. I look, actions speak louder than the word. Most of the churches in Cameroon, they are not different from the way the government is functioning. Most of them, they are dysfunctional, corrupt, and they do the same thing. While we are pointing hand to the government, they are doing the same thing. And again, it is straightforward. Again, this comes to my point. You say they are using, is it fetish or witchcraft? It is a criminal offense if you look at the penal code of the Cameroon. Where are the police to arrest such people who are breaching the laws of the country? Is our criminal justice system, is it functioning? Insofar, I love people to protest, peaceful protest, hold placard to air their views. I'm a fan of protest so far as it's peaceful. But when you start using fetish, which we call juju,
how do you identify them? How do you identify? They put it overnight. In the morning, people come and see the fetish consignment of fetish objects. How do you arrest people?
I've seen recently there have been conferences in Cameroon about forensics. We have forensics, fingerprints, all those things. But at the moment, our police, or either they don't have the power or they are lazy to do their job. Because somebody was killed or something was laid down doesn't mean they cannot. It is easy. Police, it is their job. They protect people, they look at crime, they investigate matter. Unfortunately, they spend their time on road to take money from people. I want to see a system that works, a police system that works, a police system that investigates crimes, a police system that follows the law, even if the law are bad, insofar as they haven't changed the law. We need a system that when a crime is committed, they must investigate it. But I've realized it's difficult. They hardly investigate crimes in Cameroon. As I say, most of the things we talk is politics, personality code, then we don't follow the law. An average Cameroonian doesn't know that witchcraft is a criminal offense.
Nete, what do you say? What do you have to say to the women who decided to go to the palace of Mukete to plead on him to get the Christians that were arrested to be released?
It's a little bit controversial because when we talk about our tradition, there's a little bit of juju in the palace. So when you're mixing Christianity and going to see for Mukete, I doubt a little bit if he can resolve the problem. I understand he's the fond of the Bafo people. And when Christians, they come Christian, they are not necessarily Bafo people. I'm sure there's a due process when we have such problem in the Cameroons, how to solve it. But however, if the fund can do something about it, I believe there's nothing wrong to seek for advice on how to solve a problem, because every means is possible, every means is good. But at the end of the day, a crime has been committed. As I said, it's a criminal offense to use either witchcraft in the Cameroon. The penal code makes it very clear. It's either we follow the law or we don't follow the law. Individuals are not the law. Any country that does not follow the law will live in entropy.
Okay.
Madame Yembe Emellie, vous êtes politicienne. Nous allons parler un peu de cette action du premier vice-président du SDF, Joshua aussi, qui a peint l'école publique New Deido avec les couleurs de leur parti politique.
Oui, avant de répondre à cette question, je vais juste ajouter quelque chose. Je suis entièrement d'accord avec Maître qui est de l'autre côté, d'accord, sur la FECAFOOT, mais je répondais à une question spécifique de Gwladys qui a dit pourquoi on s'intéresse tant à la FECAFOOT. Et moi je disais peut-être parce que c'est Samuel Eto'o, la star internationale de football. Alors maintenant, parlant de du député Oshi, qui est allé peindre, n'est-ce pas, une école aux couleurs du SDF. Effectivement, c'est une action politique. Peut-être à partir de ça, le député Oshi voudrait, n'est-ce pas, avoir des voix à Deido. Vous savez, les élections.
On parle ici de propagande politique en milieu scolaire.
Milieu scolaire.
J'en viens. Donc, il se dit qu'en le faisant, réhabilitant cette école-là, il va sûrement glaner des voix lors des prochaines élections, soit présidentielles, soit municipales ou législatives. Et c'est la faute, on va dire, du gouvernement. Quand le gouvernement ne fait pas son travail, chacun peut se lever et faire, c'est-à-dire entrer dans les actions du gouvernement et justement on aboutit à ce genre de résultats. Maintenant, propagande en milieu scolaire, non, c'est pas normal. Le député aurait pu, s'il voulait vraiment réhabiliter cette école, aurait pu peindre cette école aux couleurs de cette école parce qu'il y avait quand même une peinture. C'est pas comme s'il n'y avait pas de peinture, il y avait déjà une peinture dans cette école-là. On allait juste renforcer en mettant une nouvelle couche de peinture. On nous a souvent dit que l'école aux écoliers, la politique aux politiciens. Okay. Et je pense que c'est bien à l'époque, quand le STF, c'est-à-dire avait encore toutes ses forces, qu'on parlait bien de l'école aux écoliers, la politique aux politiciens. Okay. On ne peut pas aller dans une école primaire, quelle que soit la propagande qu'on veut faire, même si on veut montrer aux gens qu'effectivement l'État ne fait rien, peindre une école primaire aux couleurs d'un parti politique. C'est pas correct. Mais le député a juste profité, n'est-ce pas, de l'absence de l'État pour aller réhabiliter cette école. Okay. Vous savez, la rentrée, c'est dans quelques jours. Donc, il faut bien que les enfants soient dans un cadre approprié, un cadre propre pour pouvoir retenir le savoir qu'on leur dispense.
OK. Maître Alex, lawmakers in Cameroon, from the scandal of bleaching with PCR and MP, today we have another shocking action taken by a lawmaker painting a primary school or changing the color of the building of a primary school into the color of his political party.
Yes, Madame Yembe took it from my mouth when Mr. Bia said l'école scolaire, la politique aux politiciens. So she removed that word from my mouth. But however, I will tell you, SDF is following the footsteps of the CPDM. Not too long ago, I saw a CPDM parliamentarian donating desks in primary school and writing his name on top of it. So they are doing the same thing, all of them. There's no lack of political impartiality. There's no, I don't really think there's an independent rule that tells you what to do or what not to do.
But what does the law, what does the law say? What does the law say, Maître Alex? What does the law say?
Without talking about the law, I will just tell you that you need political partiality. I'll give you an example. You look at CRTV, it's being funded by taxpayers. It's as if it's a propaganda machine for the CPDM, which is wrong. If you want people to come and talk politics, then you have to bring all political parties to have equal time on CRTV's taxpayer. So you see, I just told you that somebody went again and wrote his name on desk in a primary school in Northwest region.
You are talking about Ngala Gerard. Are you talking about Ngala Gerard? Donga Mountain.
I cannot recall the name. The CPDM parliamentarian did that. He wrote his name on things. So they are doing the same thing. To me, it's as if there is no role in Cameroon.
But for the benches, it is a bit comprehensive. But we are talking about a building, somebody transforming the building into the colors of his political party.
It's not different. It's not different. I don't want to sit in a classroom and I see on my desk the name is Lasha. I don't want to see it. Why should I be seeing your name in a classroom? So it's a political propaganda. You're still campaigning. So that everybody in that area, in that constituency, they will be reading about your name. So it's unfair for other people who want to be parliamentarians in that constituency. So you cannot put your name there. The same as painting that school, or what the color of SDF now. I'm sure very soon we must be afraid they are going to paint the entire Cameroon or either SDF or CPDM. So we should very watch out now. Now that we start painting people to the color of a political party. It's very dangerous, the president, what they are setting. And these are the things that the government should look at it and stop it and try to bring political equality. And
is it not against the law, Maître? Is it not against the law? If yes, should action not be taken against people?
I cannot tell you clearly. Without seeing the law, you need political equality. There's lack of political impartiality. without stating about the law. You cannot go around campaigning for an election. That's a campaign. Then you don't allow other people to do the same thing. There have to be a playing field for everyone to do the same thing. So it's one rule for one person and another rule for another person. And at the end of the day, I'm not surprised that SDF is painting a school, because we have seen for some time now, SDF is another branch of the CPDM. When MPs were signing something, petition to send people who apply for immigration in America, you saw the SDF, they joined the CPDM and were asking people who are running away from the country, fleeing because of political or social or religious matter. SDF joined the CPDM and signed. Now, after a CPDM parliamentarian, when I was putting his name on desk in the classroom, now SDF is also doing the same thing now, painting things. So you see, SDF and CPDM, they are the same political party. They are doing the same thing. They just have different names, but they are the same political party when you see their action, because like birds, they flock together.
Okay, thank you, Maitre Alex, for coming. See you tomorrow for another edition of the program. Yembe Emellie, last words before we leave the studio.
Mon dernier mot, c'est que il faut dire aux Camerounais d'aller s'inscrire sur les listes électorales, parce que demain, mercredi, c'est la fermeture des inscriptions sur les listes électorales. Nous le demandons pourquoi? Parce que les Camerounais devraient comprendre que ça ne sert à rien de se plaindre ad vitam aeternam pour dire que le Cameroun va volo quand ils n'ont pas de carte d'électeur. Si vous n'avez pas de carte d'électeur, ne vous plaignez pas. Maintenant, si vous voulez vous plaindre, prenez une carte d'électeur le jour du vote, allez voter le candidat de votre choix. Ça, il faut faire la précision pour que, à la fin des élections, on ait quand même une opposition qui a plus d'élus, qui permettra de faire basculer le RDPC. Si vous restez chez vous, vous vous plaignez, ça ne changera rien, même pendant 1000 ans.
Okay, thank you for coming. Thank you to televiewers of My Media Prime for watching this other edition of the program, produced for us by Christain, Tebong. We were Gwladys Bomotonguina, with the assistant of Maitre Alex Ndive as our resource person, and Yembe Emellie from the PCRM political party. We were Gwladys Bomotonguina and Lasha Kingsley. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.